Hi, Kiwi. Alright, we're gonna go ahead with this new weapon, but let's just read what it does real quick. Shaking Earth. Skyward Resolve. Character has an energy bar. Using active skill Bull's charge depletes it, which can be charged by hitting enemies with basic attacks. Property 2. Earth-Shaking Roar. Triggered when the character's Bull charge scores a critical hit, dealing area damage and restoring some resolve. Inflict debuff on surrounding enemies with the character at the center. When attacking these enemies, damage is increased and a certain amount of HP is restored. Okay, so it's got a heal on it. Okay, this one already sounds really, really strong, but if I recall, there's something over here that gives you increased crit passive. Alright, here it is. Banishment Club. Spin the Demon Slaying Staff forward, dealing damage to enemies in its path, then return after a certain duration. And after using this artifact skill, the character's crit hit rate is temporarily increased. So we're going to unlock that and look for the Banishment Club. It'll replace our Fireball attack, but that's fine. Alright, so we're going to go another crit build, which means I want to go for lightning damage, and I want to go for... what was it? Wind? Yeah, wind and lightning seem to scale. And you know what? We're going all in on this. Since I have a healing ability, maybe I get cocky. Well, let's go for this. Let's go for 19 of these. We'll start with that. We'll eventually pick out the build that works best for us and go full heat, do a full heat run. But for now, let's do this. Now, the question is, am I invulnerable during this? It appears I am, because I'm pretty sure that dog enemy hit me there. The basic attack is a single hit. There's no combo like the other attacks. Alright, let's see what our first technique is. Earth-Shaking Roar passive applies increased damage to enemies within a certain radius. When the battle spirit is full, it provides the character with 1 layer of damage immune shield. And increases the character's damage reduction and evasion rate for a period of time with each hit on one enemy. So more damage or damage reduction and evasion rate? The shield is nice too, but it doesn't... I'm not sold on it. I think for now, since we're in the early stage, let's go for more damage. I don't think I'm going to be getting hit that often, and of course we're going to go for the Lightning Blessing. Maybe I should go for Ice. If things are slow, I can charge through them pretty reliably, I imagine. But the reason why this build is already broken, and I can tell, is I generate energy for hitting each enemy. So if they're clumped up... okay, apparently the technique has a little bit of a cooldown period before I can reactivate it. Alright, I took a lot of damage there, which is unideal. I still think we're fine, though. Oh wow, I'm really not paying attention. But I think this is going to be very strong. I don't understand how that technique heals me. I haven't been paying attention to my HP bar if it does heal me, but let's see. When a technique skill is released, continuously generate 3 instances of Heavenly Thunder to attack enemies. I think that's what we need. When dashing through enemies, generate 1 instance of Heavenly Thunder. This just sounds really funny. Alright, up we go. And another technique manual already, so I think 2 technique manuals in a row sounds really, potentially very strong. So it does seem like I do take damage when I'm charging, so I have to be mindful of that. Okay. I think it would have been a little too broken if I didn't take any damage when charging, so that's fair. But the fact that I generate Heavenly Thunder, Heavenly Thunder does more damage than most of my other hits. Actually, not really. This ability hits really... This weapon hits really hard. Let's see what we get. When your character's health is below 30%, the damage caused by Divine Bull formation is significantly increased. So a reward for staying low, but I don't like that kind of gameplay, honestly. It's too risky. With the increase of Battle Spirit value, the character's damage reduction edge attribute will also increase up to 20%. Earth-Shaking Roar increases damage reduction and evasion rate for a period of time with each hit on one enemy. Alright, we'll go ahead and take that. Nothing amazing. Oh my goodness, a 3rd technique manual. We're going to exhaust all the low-ranking abilities pretty quick, which means there's nothing but crazy passives coming up soon. The fact that I can reactivate that so soon, like, maybe this might be a build where the gimmick is actually to just do this. Generate enough energy and then just tap my Y button and run. I think that's actually the gimmick of this build now, which is pretty funny. Like, my dash actually does a ton of damage, but Heavenly Thunder just does so much more. And I don't have to be near something to use it. See, I tap the dash and I just drop Thunderbolts. And each Thunderbolt does 125 damage, which is more than most of my attacks right now. When your Divine Bull Formation active skill crits, the next charge attack will also crit. Well, we were talking about going a crit build. I think we have to, yeah. Alright, so guaranteed crit if we crit. Oh my goodness, what is this game doing? That's a 4th technique manual. It's like they saw I lost the first run, and they're like, well, we can't have you losing. You've already won 3 rounds. So we're just gonna do this. Don't have enough energy to use the dash anymore, so we'll go ahead and kill those, and then zap. I was going to say, I don't think the lightning attacks are going to be very strong on this build, but I got probably the best option for the build, as it turns out. And the funny thing is, if I'm in melee distance, I still get the hit of the dash, so it stacks real easy. Oops, I didn't need to take that hit. Ah. Oh wow, I died. That's unfortunate. Chen Chang, your magical skills are truly impressive, if impressive were to use to describe jokes. Oof, rough. Alright. I played a little cocky there. It's a shame I threw such a strong initial build. Reflecting on it, the Queen Mother's peaches are truly tasty. I could go for a peach right now. Beside the lantern, did my mother leave anything else for me? When you were young, your mother always sung a lullaby to you. Too bad I don't remember it anymore. Alright. I'm still going with that weapon. I just got a little cocky. Let's just say I'm in the early phase of Wukong, maybe. We're still sticking with this. We're going all in. I will eventually beat a max heat run. That's a promise, but I'm a little disappointed that I threw that run, because it was giving me everything it could to like make the run possible. I threw it. I guess the biggest weakness of this build is the lack of ability to stagger enemies. In other builds, staggering makes it so I can pretty much wail on them for free. Alright. Crits, next crit is guaranteed. When below, applies rebound damage to enemy when hitting enemy projectiles. So I think this makes it so either when I get hit by projectiles I do a counterattack, or it reflects them. But I think the guaranteed crit is really strong if we can get the crit build going. Nothing that scales with crit great here. I guess we'll go for the Wind Blessing and see what it gets us, but I know there are a lot of wind passives that just on paper do not ever seem appealing to me. Ouch. Yeah. I think this is, because you take damage while using the charge, this build is riskier than I appreciate it being. But I'm not lowering the heat. If anything, I'm going to keep increasing it. I might just use one of the stronger builds and see where it takes us. I'm not a fan of the squishing sound that it makes when I hit things with this dash, though. It's kind of gross. Ugh. It just sounds like I'm crunching them. Gross. Maybe the trick is to do a melee attack and then my technique right after. Alright, that sounds good. Yeah, so normal attack, generate Windblade. I don't attack fast enough for that to be great. When dashing through enemies, there's a 35% chance to leave one storm, which is an AoE wind. And then this one gives a boost to crit damage when I use a technique. Since our technique is already going to have a guaranteed crit if it crits, I think that's definitely the way to go. Alright. Artifact, I'm going to go for a blessing for now. We'll get a guaranteed artifact after the first boss fight. Yeah, I think that's maybe how to do it. I do a melee attack and then cancel the animation with my dash. Okay. I think the thing that I have to learn with this build is that my dash takes actually a fair bit of energy on that bar. So I can't... One auto attack on a single enemy is not enough to regenerate it. I need multiple hits to... Or I need to hit multiple enemies to be able to regenerate enough energy for it to matter. But that said, that is relatively doable, especially since I've increased the enemy spawn rate. But I definitely think the technique here is to animation cancel with your auto attack and then use your technique. Yeah, because it's making, I hear it making the squishing sound, so I know it's landing. So I'm animation canceling, which lets me get 2 really quick hits. That seems pretty strong if used properly. On normal attack, 30% chance to generate 1 stack of freeze, which when reaches 5, freezes the enemy. During a dash, 50% chance to generate 1 instance of Ice Pearl. Defeating enemies has a chance to generate 3 instances of Frost Crystal attack, which shoots... I think we could go for this one, because I don't attack fast to get the freeze stacked. And I don't think it affects enemies either. Alright, we'll go for the Thunder, and maybe we can get the same passive. That would be amazing if we got the same passive again. I wonder if the passives change based on what weapon you're using. It seems like there might be some synergy in that, or something to that, but I have no way of confirming until I play this a little bit more. The other downside is there's a very minor but noticeable delay before you can move again when you end your dash. Oop, I tried to dash out of it, but I unfortunately ran right into it. Yeah. I don't think this is a bad weapon. I think I'm bad with it, and that's the problem right now. That, and I'm also playing on a higher difficulty, which I think is another issue in and of itself. Alright, let's see what lightning blessing we get. Don't want that. Dash has a 30% chance to leave a Thunder Orb when a technique skill is used, generate Heavenly Thunder. So this is the less strong version of that ability we had before, but it's still there. And then I think we go for another Wind Blessing. Hopefully we get something that stacks crit. So that's what we need for this build to work. Alright, we're already at the point where things start to spawn with shields, which is great. Whoop. Oh gosh. Whoa! Sorry, there were just too many things for me to dodge. These projectile feet will need to get out of here. Oh, I've taken far too much damage. I think I'm going to lose the run again. Alright. Maybe the answer here... Oh, I apparently died. Chen Chang, you've given it your all, but destiny is beyond human control. Giving up may be the best choice for your mother and yourself. Okay. I've gotten a sense of some weapons. Not a fan. I think I like this one. This one seems strong, but it attacks too slow and I can't stagger enemies. I think the plan here is... Well, let's see what you have to say. Remember, cultivation isn't about speed, but preservation. Perseverance. Yeah, but perseverance. What am I doing? Chen Sheng, I have seen your efforts. I got a little distracted by the fact that this is definitely Wukong speaking, but let's not acknowledge that directly. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do the highest heat, the higher heat on this run, but I am gonna go with a build that I really liked, which is gonna be either the flying swords, the clone, or the dash one, which seemed really fun. The clones felt really strong once they got rolling, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. Let's do this. All right, it's this one. Yeah, this is the one that gave me the dash. Let's go with that. That felt really strong. So let's try this build one more time and see where it takes us. Once we get enough technique manuals, we're going to be causing chaos like no tomorrow. Let's see. Do we get the good one from the start? Increase the duration of Light Mark. That sounds pretty good. The Mystic Light Mark provides damage reduction. The damage projectiles triggered by Mystic Light Mark are increased. I think we go for the increased duration. We need as many of those on the field as possible. But the one I'm looking for is the one that instantly spawns 3 of them. And I think we go Chain Lightning again, if I recall. That's what made this really strong. I think so. Yeah, it was a mixture of Chain Lightning and Ice Spikes that were just scaling ridiculously well with each other. And then we just activate our ability, and then everything dies. It's on a 10-second cooldown for now, but I realized the shield artifact that I've been using a ton of, it has a passive where if my HP is below 25%, my cooldowns are reduced pretty substantially. I think that's why in that previous episode when I'm like, why is the cooldown only 5 seconds? I think that's why it was. And then it went back up to 10. Here we go. When a technique skill is used, continuously generate 3 instances of Heavenly Thunder that does 200 Heavenly Thunder damage. Leave behind a Thunder Orb when I dash, or Chain Lightning on basic attack. I think this is so strong that I need to take it first. And another technique manual. Alright, we're gonna hopefully... I don't think we're ever going to get 4 in a row like we did last time, but imagine if it happened again. That would be so cool. Game, you heard me. You know what you got to do. Alright. I see you shooting your projectiles over here, and I don't appreciate it. Would you kindly? Whoop. Alright, there we go. We're just going to do that because I'm not a fan of what was happening there. What even hit me? Alright, things seem to be super armoring through my attacks now. I have to be careful. I can't just full-on monkey mode it. Oh, you know what? It's because I increased their attack rate. I guess they can attack so fast that now they can get out of it even if they're staggered. When the character takes damage, they summon 1 mark. When the Mystic Light Marks fall and hit small monsters with health below 15%, it's an instant kill. Increase the chance for basic attacks to trigger Mystic Light Mark. Definitely that. We want to trigger that as much as possible. Let's see if there are any more pots with potential HP. Nope. I do like that they have these in the area. The chances of getting something from them is slim, but it's a nice little reward for paying attention, and I respect that. Alright, another... The game really wants to hand us technique manuals. I do wonder if there's maybe like a victory, or what's it called, a loss mitigation mechanic to this. Which... I'm curious to know what your opinion on loss mitigation mechanics are. Basically, they're ways of the game making it easier for you if you're losing frequently. I'm generally not a fan of them because I feel like if I'm losing, it's usually my own fault, or if it is the game's fault, well, I chose to play the game. I'm going to deal with its nuance and its glitches, if there are those. But I generally prefer being the one to win. Let's see. The final strike of basic attack generates multiple projectiles that's scattering to attack. When the acceleration state provided by the Mystic Light Mark reaches full stacks, the marks in the field will automatically launch projectiles to attack. All Mystic Light Marks become stronger when the character approaches and can launch powerful missiles. I think this one sounds like fun, so let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's this one. I forgot. Okay. That one ended up doing a lot more damage than it looked like it should, so okay, I'm okay with that. We're going to go for the Wind Blessing here since I don't really have a artifact I'm planning on using just yet. I need to generate a Mystic Light Mark now, and there we go. Right, that should give me some damage. Yeah, as soon as I get the technique manual that lets me spawn in 3 light marks upon activating the ability, we're basically won. That's the technique manual that just broke my build last time, I think. Everything else just stacked up on top of it. Oh my goodness, I took so much damage there. This increased attack rate is a problem. It just makes the run a lot harder, I think. But we haven't scaled yet. That's our issue right now. We need to scale. We're about to generate our technique. There we go. And that finishes the room. Whew. Alright, accumulate 1 energy every 1 grid. Character has a 50% chance to apply Gale, which increases attack speed for a certain duration. That sounds very nice. When the character is hit by an enemy, apply 2 stacks of wind erosion. When the character HP is below 40%. I think we take the energy gain, assuming that's actually what it gives. It's unfortunate that I have to treat every instance with a degree of skepticism just because of how the translation in this game has been. But let's see. Alright. The question is, do I die here? Because it feels like I might. Turns out when you turn up the difficulty of the game, it gets harder. Yep, there it is. Got clipped. He dashed in a very strange direction. Chen Chong, your magical skills are truly impressive, if impressive were used to describe jokes. That is such a rude comment. This guy sucks. Alright. I think I've learned my lesson. I'm biting off more than I can chew this early in the game. Chen Chong, failure isn't something to fear. It's crucial to learn from it. Keep pushing. Your mother is waiting for you. Alright, so I think what we're gonna do is let's actually try out the Shaking Earth build, but let's respect our limits and maybe turn off enemy attack and movement speed. Let's remove that. That one really seems to be the biggest problem. Double armor is fine. Maybe I'll reduce the damage they deal. Let's go with this. I think this is fine. That way I can still play the game with some modicum of difficulty, but I'm not getting penalized for learning how to play a new build. If that makes sense. You know, this, I will say, the energy generation for the dash is probably going to be at its worst when I'm fighting bosses, because I'm only hitting one enemy. Unless it gets increased energy generation from hitting bosses. But let's see. Divine Vol Formation grants 1 chance of revival if killed by an enemy during the charge, and boosts damage for a certain duration. That's funny. Crits with the next charge attack. I mean, we have to take that because it's a revival. I'm just not a fan of getting that so early where it's effectively irrelevant. But I'm still sticking with the idea of going for the crit build here. It makes the most sense to me for what to build towards. Man, you really feel the attack speed increase once you turn it off again. Yeah, it does seem like there's a little bit of a cooldown to my charge attack before I can reactivate it. Yeah, I see it now. There's a 1 second tick down. Interesting though is that it looks like it's a cooldown whether if the cooldown happens whether you're charging or not. And then if you hold the charge, it reactivates. So I think there's a nuance of timing to this, perhaps. No matter, we'll figure it out eventually. Normal attacks when hitting generate 1 wave of chain lightning. Lightning combo. We want lightning combo. This was just, it's so good with this build. It effectively gives a melee build it gives a melee build a ranged option. And I think we're gonna go fishing for the shield artifact sooner than later. I've been kind of eating dirt a little bit. Is that the right phrase? I'm not sure. Yeah. I feel like probably the strongest build for the higher heats is going to be the clone attack, because the clone attack guarantees ideal damage after dodging. I can attack once and then dash away. Yin Yang Mirror. We wanted to see what the Yin Yang Mirror does at full upgrade, so we'll go with that. And we'll get another artifact here. Go ahead and activate the mirror. It seems to do reasonable damage. Nothing incredible, but not... I suspect it will scale, like everything else. But the things we need early on in this game are the clear a room, get HP sort of passive. Godly Run Sigil. You know, this will probably scale really well with our dash if our movement speed scales, or if the dash's movement speed scales with our base movement speed. But reduced CD of technique skills... Actually, that's not relevant here. Our cooldown is 1 second to begin with. So, upon entering a room, character's damage increases with each movement distance. I think that scales really well with our build. I am going to replace it if I get the thing that falls into the, what was it, the man cat? No, I think that's the man category. I don't have enough money to buy anything from the shop, so I guess we'll go get our first Ice Blessing. Yeah, see, you definitely generate energy with your dash based on the number of enemies you hit. So, when you're only against one enemy, this is where the build feels its weakest, I imagine. But it's funny that I can just do... I didn't mean to dash into that. That was unfortunate. Let's go ahead and take these guys out with our projectiles. I really question the decision on the sound effect for that. Like, why is it just a crunchy, squishy sound? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Heavenly Thunder just does so much damage in this build, though. Alright, let's see. When the character is hit by an enemy, it will... Nope, don't care. When the character is hit, continuously trigger 4 instances of Frost Crystal. Or on normal attack, 30% chance to freeze. None of these are great. I'll take the when I get hit. Generate Frost Crystal. Which I don't really know what it does because I didn't read it. Which I know is my problem, not yours. Alright, we'll go for a Fire Blessing here, I suppose. We need something to break this build. We haven't gotten the win condition, if you will. But I don't know what my win con is just yet. Alright, let's see. Does my dash does seem to scale with movement speed. That's cool. I can definitely animation cancel with my dash as well, so really, as long as I animation cancel the cooldown of the dash, I should be good. There are a lot of enemies here, I gotta be careful. Oh, this is the room where I died in that last run, isn't it? Maybe take out these projectile sorts first. And honestly, the dash guys are giving me a lot of trouble too, it seems. Whoop! I tried to dash out with my Y instead of my actual dodge dash, and that was the problem. Alright. The guys who generate the shockwaves really aren't much of a threat if I stay away from them, so I should just focus on killing everything else and then cleaning them up at the end. Let's see. On attack, hit, 50% chance to generate 1 stack of flame. Each cost of 4 energy cells generates 8 instances of 5 meteors. Crit hit definitively applies 2 stacks of flames, which trigger an explosion on... Since we're planning on going a crit build, we'll go for that, but I considered the meteor attack after using a certain number of energy shells, because I think that's super easy to use. Alright, here we go, the boss. Wish me luck, Kiwi. Yeah, honestly, I think for this boss, what I do is I focus on using Heavenly Thunder. Try and get melee attacks where possible. Oh, okay, we went for the 6. Fair enough. It's hard to tell. Like, I had kind of assumed that the 6 attacks would happen, or the 6 lightning blade projectiles would happen at the second phase, because I didn't really use it before then. Why are you invisible but still able to hit me? That's not fair. Alright, let's go ahead and drop these. Yeah, definitely some solid damage. Maybe energy regeneration is increased against bosses. I'm not convinced it is, though. But yeah, I think this build shows its biggest weakness against bosses. Which means we just need to get enough crits. But it doesn't matter. And Heavenly Thunder on the dash attack makes this a lot more reliable. And I can use my artifacts to my advantage as well, I have to remember that. So I do have some pretty solid projectiles. Man, the invulnerability frames on the dash are super forgiving. It's kind of funny. Get some in. Okay, yeah, I'm reasonably confident the energy gain is increased against bosses. It feels that way, at least. Maybe it's not. Oh, where are you going? 1, 2, 3. Now you use your dash. Get a hit in. You're gonna dash again. It's throwing me off that he's in that. She, I think, is invisible. No, I guess it is a man. I don't think he can be topless and keep the rating on this game as it is without that. With that, I don't know why I dashed into that. That was a mistake. Here, we'll just go ahead and drop some Heavenly Thunder on you. Although I think your dash actually let you dodge that. That's kind of cheating, isn't it? Not that this isn't cheating too, I suppose. Alright, Tower of Holiness. No. Oh, thank goodness we got the barrier. That will keep us alive. 10 attack speed. Sounds really good on a build that has no attack speed, but I think we're just going to go for the flat crit rate for now. And we'll take the engraving. Hopefully we get the +1 HP per no damage room, which will be hard to pull off with this build, I think. Senior Sister's selling price is reduced by 10, by 15. Or crit rate increases by 8% until using an artifact skill. I mean, that locks me out of artifacts, and that doesn't sound great because I'm going to be depending on the shield. So I guess we just take this 15% reduction in cost. So I think that just brings them back to what they used to cost. I'm going to take the HP because I did take a fair few number of hits. Maybe less than I needed. That healed for 70. I think it was worth it. And let's go for a Divine Bead Plate now. I still call them Divine Bead Plates instead of Divine Plate Beads. Oh well. Does anyone particularly care that I can't speak well? Kiwi's gotten used to it, that's for sure. Such is my life, being born with a speech impediment. Well, I don't actually know if I was born with it, but it definitely feels like I've had it for as long as I can remember. I'm just prone... It may not even be a speech impediment so much as I'm super prone to speaking way too fast, and it kind of... My brain works faster than my mouth, and my words slur together. Or... I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I can still communicate adequately enough, so if it is an impediment, it's a minor one at worst, so I can't complain. I know there are people with far worse impediments than what I've had to deal with. But I know I'm mildly dyslexic at the very least. I've just gotten good at... Well, maybe not. I had a really unfortunate moment of word jumbling the other day. I went to the store and I was getting feta cheese and hummus, and I mixed those two together and realized that's a bad thing to like mix the two up with, because what it became was I went to the store for humma and fetus, and one of those is not good to say at a grocery store. Hummus, whatever. Fetus, you're gonna have to explain to someone why you're looking for that. Let's see. When artifact hit, 10% chance to generate fire spirit. Spawn 2 fire spirits every 12 seconds. Generate 1 flame. I think we're going to go with that because that scales with what we're already doing. And we'll put it on our earth mirror because we're planning on stacking that up anyway. Finally, a technique manual. Alright, let's see if we get something strong to scale our build with. And don't forget to use my shield at all times. And my dash. We need to get rid of that projectile guy, those projectile guys first. Alright, that was fine. So I guess I'll pick up where I left off in the last episode talking about Unordinary. And then we'll see where it takes us after that. So I was explaining kind of a degree of the plot line of Unordinary, namely that the first plot arc follows our main character John, this boy who's prone to violence as his answer to problems, and has some sort of phenomenal power, so we're to assume, but have not been explicitly told or shown yet. And it's really just, honestly, at that point, it's a reader's assumption that he has the power because it feels like he does. He's just holding back, but you don't truly find that out until way later into the story, which is effectively the second plot arc. We'll call it John Unleashed. The basic attack now has a larger attack range. Your Divine Bull crits, and then when it crits, your next crit is crit, or your next hit is crit, or damage reduction. I think we take the larger AoE on the auto attack, because that'll mean I can more easily generate energy for my charge. You look very confident, but what if you fail to rescue your mother this time? I know the splitting of the mountain to save my mother is not easy, but one thing remains unclear. What's the matter? Why do so many celestial beings, some aid me while others hinder me? Could it be that some of them fear Erlang Shen? If one never errs, what is there to fear? It's just that after being an immortal for so long, I may forget we were once mortals. I don't know if that answered the question, and I definitely didn't process the answer if that did answer the question. Anyway, does the spot have anything good? Oh wow, that AoE, that's way more AoE. Okay, I like that. I approve. That makes it so much easier to generate energy. Okay, this will help a lot. Alright, so effectively my order of events for killing things in this room is kill the projectile users first, then kill the chargers, then kill the guy who just does the big AoE shockwave, but is super slow and not actually a threat, unless I turn my brain off and dash into his attack, which has happened more times than I'd like to admit. Anywho, so the 3 cores. John surviving in school, John going on his rampage in the school, and then after that it's kind of really addressing what the world building has been leading up to up until that point, and that is the world at large is kind of messed up. The authorities of the world who hold the power and are trying to maintain the hierarchy do so using an unreasonable amount of force to the point of killing those who protest against them. It's definitely kind of like, it feels like a modern day society in the setting with an undertone of fascist or dictatorship type regime. It really does feel like that, and we haven't even met the leader of the government at this point. We don't even know what they're like. When this artifact is cast, generate 1 Ice Pearl plus 6% crit multiplier, or 100% chance to generate 3 Ice Spikes. I mean, we said we were going crit, and we're sticking with that. Effectively, there are I'll call it three forces. The first force is the authorities. The authorities have a secret group whose name I am presently blanking on. Let's see what we get here. When dashing through enemies, generate 1 instance of Ice Spike. When an ice skill hits an enemy with freeze, it definitively triggers 1 instance of Ice Spike. For every 1 enemy killed with Ice Spike, the cooldown of technique skill is reduced by 0.75 seconds. That's cute, but doesn't work with this build. So I guess dashing through enemies generate Ice Spikes. I could take this artifact too, but I have all the artifacts I need, honestly, and I'll get more for free, so I don't think it's worth taking that. So I'll hold on to my money and hope for another technique manual to show up in the shop later. I'm blanking on the names of the organizations for a brief moment from this game. Hold on. Hey, how's it going with your blind date? What? Done. I owe this one to my buddy Chen Sheng. What does it have to do with me? She believes that I'm always mingling with people like Chen Sheng, wealthy and influential, assuming my prospects are limitless. Haha. What logic is this? I can't even guarantee my own safety, let alone wealth and honor. Oh no, Chen Sheng, my friend, you're so confused. That's weird. Well, I'm glad we could wingman for Tiger Monster. I guess. I don't know, that's kind of silly. Alright. Definitely need help generating energy. Or not energy. Well, I guess energy too, because I want my shield. There we go, I got my shield. Just feels like this build is going to be really weak against the third area's boss. The one with the lance and... was it Niwa? Or Nuwa? Or something? I forget. I feel like that one's going to be a right challenge to deal with. It is hard to generate energy against boss fights with this build, that's for sure. Yeah, this build feels really weak 1v1 and really strong in multi-target areas. I guess I just need to depend on Heavenly Thunder more for damage. The issue is, because he spawns allies, he is redirecting the Heavenly Thunder away from himself, and it's targeting the enemies, the allies he summons instead, which is a problem. Feels like this is going to be a war of attrition, so... Oh, we'll get what damage we can. I guess I'll stick to my strategy of animation canceling after one auto, or one basic. It seems to work reasonably well. But this is going to be a tricky fight. Because as soon as I get even close to killing his allies, he generates more. I do feel the lack of attack speed in this build as well. Because if I animation cancel too quickly, I don't actually get the auto off. But the timing isn't hard to learn. I can manage pretty well. Cool. And now I should get some good Heavenly Thunder hits on him before he responds his allies. Alright, I think we can do this. I'm going to drop a mirror shield on him and get the damage. Oops. Well, fortunately that might be a problem. Nope, he gave us 3 damage. Fair enough. Ah, my goodness. It seems very hard to dodge that for some reason. Usually I'm pretty reliably able to dodge it. We're almost there. Just a little bit more. I seem to be losing dialogue to the focus of trying to beat him. Oh, yeah, I can't seem to dodge that the way I used to anymore. I wonder if they patched him a little bit to make it more easy, harder to dodge. Oh well. Our new passive is... do I want crit rate or all damage? I think I keep stacking... Nah, I think all damage on this one. The advantage of crit rate is if you hit a lot. This build is really single, solitary, strong hits. Alright, let's see what you guys have to say. It's been a while since we've been here. Chen Zhang, I notice your light and agile steps, as if clouds are forming around you. It's a good thing. Mr. Tiaguai, I'm flattered. If it weren't for the significant aid from the 8 immortals, I would probably have needed 500 more years to achieve this level of cultivation. Your filial piety moves heavens and earth, and our aid is simply following the natural course. The elders often use sincerity and filial piety to evade Chen Shang's questions. In the world, truly sincere and filial individuals are prevalent, but I've never heard of a filial god from the Heavenly Court. Supporters for me come from all around, but it is because I am the Jade Emperor's grandnephew, or is it genuinely due to the supposed sincerity and filial piety? I'm afraid... He became a pirate for a moment there. I'm afraid I can't rule out my background. Chen Shang, although you are smart, you often get stuck in trivial matters. Since childhood, being away from your mother, your thoughts are refined, having witnessed people forsaking ethics for personal gain and experiencing the world's deceit. You sincerely deal with people, but occasionally you tend to assume the worst. However, little did they know that whether Liu Chensheng or Zhang Liu, or Liehu, there are but mere shells. Whether the Jade Emperor's nephew or the disciple of the great sage, they are only adorned shells of power. Of powder? Status and rank are insignificant, only goodness endures. You address me as Master Tie Guai, but this disheveled, bearded, big-eyed, and bare-bellied person is not me. It's just a shell. I achieved immortality in the form of the dead. Who remembers I was a minister in Zhangzhou, not the butcher Li? Regardless of being an emperor or a commoner, actions that touch the heavens have nothing to do with your identity. Many thanks for the guidance, Master. Okay. Get my HP back up. What have you got to say? What's this? My confession made you shy? Chen Shang, this doesn't seem like your usual fearless character. Sister, the waves are loud here. I couldn't hear what you said. How dare you imitate me? They're cute together. Alright, let's see what we get. For each fire elemental blessing, 5 HP. After triggering the explosion damage of Ice Spike, release 1 Wind Blade. For every fire elemental blessing owned, all damage is increased by 1%. I think we need tankiness with this build, so I'm going to go this and prioritize finding some fire spirits when I can. It feels like the crit build just isn't going to work the way I want it to, potentially, and I haven't ruled it out. It just seems hard to manifest, if you will. So, we'll potentially get there, but for now, let's go ahead and do this. Oh, well, unfortunately, my dash got canceled for some reason, and it got canceled again, so here we go. I guess if I let go of the Y button for even a second, it's over. I can't fix the mistake I made. It definitely does a lot of damage. Heavenly Thunder's helping too. If I can get the Meteor Strike on technique, that'll be really funny. So many enemies spawned at the start here, it seems. Alright, we can make this work. These projectile guys are becoming more of an issue very quickly, it seems. Anyway, alright. Well, we made it through here, so let's go back to what I was talking about. As far as Unordinary goes, I have been enjoying reading it. It's honestly one of the 2 manhwa I'm really actively following right now. I think the world building is particularly interesting. It was very rough seeing John go through the second core arc's story where he just goes full rampage, because it almost dragged on a little bit. John was on a rampage to just take out every single high-ranking student in the school, and it was very violent, and you could see him sinking very low. And it did play its strength with the relationship he had with his female friend, Seraphina, who again is probably my favorite character in the story, but she was there to support him and help him, and finally, like, she's the one who finally gets him out of the hole he's dug himself into, and emotionally, I mean. And now the story is taking an interesting turn because Seraphina has had to go into hiding because she has ended up getting involved with effectively... Oh, right, I was going to talk about the 2 organizations of this world. There are effectively 3 powers, if you will. There is kind of the neutral power, which is just the lay people. And then there is a terrorist organization, I believe called Spectre, but I might be... I think, yeah, Spectre. And then let's see, what is this? Applies increased damage to enemies within a certain radius. Upon entering the room, have 20% battle spirit. When the spirit is full, 1 layer of damage immune shield. Nah, I think we take this, increased damage. And Spirit Plate Bead, or Destiny Plate Bead. I just can't say that name right. Anyway, So there are two major powers, effectively. I mean, there's the authorities, and their subgroup called, I think it was Blaze. Forgive me if I'm getting that wrong. I'm really drawing a blank for a moment here. And Blaze is basically the hit squad of the government who take out vigilante heroes. Basically, if you're not with the authorities and you're trying to be a hero on your own, the government looks down very aggressively at vigilantism. They actively pursue anyone taking that route, and most of them end up dead. But where the interesting bit comes with this is that it turns out the government is harvesting abilities from those vigilantes and then using them for their own devices. Like, they've found a way to force another person's ability onto someone else with, as far as I'm aware, no notable consequence, which is very spooky when you find out and you basically Blaze, the authorities' secret agency for killing vigilantes. They attack the vigilantes with multiple abilities, and because it's effectively, up until this point, a hard set rule of the world that everyone can only have one ability, John being the exception because of how his ability works, allowing him to read and copy auras, it often catches the vigilantes off guard when suddenly another ability pops out of nowhere, and it can lead to the decisive kill. After being hit, restores 5% of HP equal to the damage taken. I think I'll just take the crit rate here. Alright. We're stacking up crit reasonably well. We just don't have a lot of ways of triggering it. Okay, perfect. Some HP can go a long while. Let's do this. Let's take this. And I say that because I have the passive that makes me generate HP every time I get a fire passive. I'm not a fan of this cooldown on the dash and how it resets. If you end the dash soon enough, you still have a full second cooldown on it. Or if you end it too late, you still have a full second cooldown on it. But other times, if you end it, you instantly get it back. I wish it was at least consistent. That way I could get like a timing on it. Which I can, obviously, but I don't... It's hard when I want to hold it versus I want to let it be the one like, auto-cancel. What was I saying? So, I have to say that the story does a pretty good job of world building, because I find the world very interesting. So we have the one side, which is the authorities and their hit group Blaze, killing the vigilantes, which I would say are part of the neutral group. They don't really belong to one or the other bad guy team, if you will. And many of our main characters will find themselves in that vigilante group. John has yet to reach the status of vigilante, but I suspect we're building into that pretty soon. But only time will tell. We're in a pretty big climactic part of the story right now with the authorities effectively raiding the school to take out some of the students. Which John is just like, you guys have ruined my family. You have ruined my life. You've taken everything from me, so now I'm going to take everything from you. So he just like, I'm not running away here. I am going to stand and fight and get some kills. And I think he intends to be taken out in this instance. But alright, let's see what we got here. When dashing through enemies, 60% chance to apply burning, generate fire spirits at the start. When the character is hit by an enemy, generate blazing. None of these are amazing. I'll take the fire spirit summon. Maybe I can stack those up a little bit later on. Alright, divine plate bead, if you will. I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm itchy. I was gonna just try and stop right there on those things, but then I immediately realized, oh, they're gonna explode if I just stand there, so I had to move. It's fine. We made it work. Yeah, I think I'll probably have to get some fire passives just to stack up HP, because this build seems to put me at risk pretty reliably. And I imagine, especially come the last section where we have those spiders dropping earth attacks, I'm gonna get hit a lot if I'm not careful. So, best to get those abilities while I can. But my damage feels like it's falling off. I really need... I'll need to get that damage up passive from the fire engraving stone, or maybe it's Red Boy. No, it's an engraving stone passive, I believe. Either way. You know what? No, it definitely is Red Boy. I'm sorry, I can't maintain a train of thought for a second because there's always something new to talk about in this game, isn't there? Anyway, I'll try and focus a little bit forward until we finish this room, and I inevitably have to read the item that I got, but you know, that's how it be. So, I can't turn my... Oh! So that was weird. I was not holding Y, but my dash just kept going. I wonder if you use the dash at full charge, if it just consumes the full dash. It's rare that I get to that point, so I won't necessarily find out. Alright, anyway. So, I was saying, the other major power, if you will, and I wouldn't necessarily call it power, but effectively it's a terrorist organization in this world called Spectre, and the way they work is they're directly antagonizing the government. They are targeting high-ranking individuals and then stealing their ability, or rather, they've developed a drug that locks the user's ability from being usable. Let's see. Generate 1 Ice Spirit if hit. When this artifact is cast, generate 3 instances of Windblade, or generate 1 Thunder Surge. I think we go with the Ice Spirit. We'll just put that right there. Okay. 1 more, and then that's fully upgraded. Finally, a technique manual. Alright, hopefully we get something that really sets the run... gets the run going. Got my shield up. Okay. So Spectre is trying to gain control of the world. Not necessarily the world, but where they're functioning out of. They're trying to gain power over the highest tiered ability users. And basically what they're doing is they have the ability to seal someone's ability and make it entirely unusable to the point where it feels like they've lost it altogether. But they also have the technology to get the ability back. But the technology they have is temporary, so effectively it locks people into helping them by making it so that if they want their ability back, which is effectively a position of... having an ability in this world is like having status. With a poor quality ability, people look down upon you, you're not regarded as well. So, and they did a very good job of establishing that sentiment early on in the show when John is just trying to survive in school as someone who's considered unpowered. Alright, let's see. When the battle spirit is full, nope. When your divine bolt charge crits, next charge also crits. Applies rebound damage. We're going to take the crit after crit. And that was the whole idea for why we were stacking crit in the first place. It's just taken us this long to get it, I guess. We'll see how this goes. Oh, we're already up to the boss. I activated my shield just in time there, thankfully. I feel like this is going to be another situation where Heavenly Thunder is the core of our damage. I appreciate, I think it's this guy who just charged at me. I appreciate the color scheme on his pants. It makes me think of Dragon Ball Z, blue and orange. Just immediately triggers that feeling of, oh, it's Goku. Or, oh, it's someone who trained under Master Roshi. Oh, goodness, my HP just went down pretty substantially. It's fine, though. If I don't take any more hits, we'll get healed up soon enough. Anyway, so what was I saying? The world building has been very solid to understand why people would value... I mean, the abilities are not just a social status sort of thing. They're part of a person's identity. And often I think their abilities kind of mesh with their personalities to a degree. So, yeah, abilities are absolutely part of someone's identity as well as their status in this world. So having a group of people who can then turn that ability off and then tell you the only way to get it back is if you continue to work for us. It's an interesting idea, and it works very well within the rules that this world has established. And then, so that's the motivating factor, and Seraphina is unfortunately one of the people targeted by this group, and she does in fact lose her power, and so she ends up working for them, and now she ends up being targeted by the authorities because she's part of this terror organization. And so she's in hiding at this point, and her being separated from John feels rough. Like you can feel them missing each other. And there are moments in the third core where they are able to see each other, but eventually just everything kind of goes the wrong way. Alright, let's see. I did want to see what happens if this gets maxed out. But, I don't know. It did not seem good. I'm not really using... I think I'm not gonna take it. Oh, I have to take it, I forgot. So, we'll take this, but we'll give it back. Because Godly Run Sigil at least gives me the passive of dealing more damage. Would you please let me pick this other thing up? Okay. Can I not? Can I not take this passive? Hold on. Alright, we'll just pull this all the way out here so it's out of the way. Can't believe I have to do this. There we go. That was weird. 12 max HP, 5 attack speed, or 3 crit. 12 max HP sounds really good. I'm taking it. And then, oh, look at this. A bunch of fire blessings. Heck yeah. We'll take the one with the challenge, so maybe I get some more divine sensibility. I think the challenges take no damage. I didn't actually read the specifications, so hopefully I can pull it off, but I'm not sold on the idea. I know how this usually goes. I really feel like I need more damage, though. This build has not popped off in the same manner that the last two major victories did. But at least I have enough energy to reliably get my shield up if I remember to use it. Like, Heavenly Thunder is the bulk of my damage right now, it feels, and that's not good because it only hits 3 times per activation of ability. And that makes it pretty unreliable. Let's see, does that do any damage? That does some damage, but the Divine Mirror doesn't feel amazing either. And I need my energy for the shield, so... oh well. Maybe I'll get something eventually that really makes this build go out of control, but it's taking a while to get there. It's not like the other two that by this point I already knew the run was over. Oh good, more enemies. Exactly what we need here. Alright, charge here and kill all these. But... you know what was a webtoon that I read that I really liked? Mage X Demon Queen. I'll talk about that one next. Because that one was fun. That one was a lot of fun. It was repeatedly very funny to me. But before I do that, I guess... I think Unordinary is worth giving a try if you're interested, based on what I've described. It has kind of like a... I don't want to equate it to My Hero Academia, because I don't think that's correct. Oh, when the technique skill is cast, generate 4 instances of meteor attack. Let's do that. Yeah, definitely this. Wait. Oh no. Oh, it replaced the lightning. Oh no, I didn't read. Oh, I messed up. I thought it would stack, but it just replaced the lightning attack. Oh, that's a big mess up on my part. The fire meteors do less damage, I think. Oh, I screwed up. Upon entering a room, crit rate increases by 5%. Disappears after artifact skill. I guess we just take the reduced cost, because I don't think I can benefit from either of these with my current build. Boy. I messed up bad. Alright. Maybe I can get it back and just waste the blessings that I got. Or honestly, I might just keep it at this point. It may do less damage, but... I mean... oh my goodness. It does less damage, but at least it gives me the 5% HP, or the 5 HP. Which is nice, and kind of necessary here. But yeah, I'm not feeling great after that one. That was a fundamental mistake on my part. And it was avoidable, too. I really do need something to give me damage, though. I doubt the passive that the fire stacking will give me will be enough. I'll need more than that, but at least it's a start if I could even get that. Oh boy. I'm not convinced this build is going to see the end of the run. As it is, these projectiles are getting me quick. Alright, I think I've got them in a stun lock here, so we should be good. There we go. Alright. When enemies die, Thunder Orb. When characters hit, I guess we just take the Thunder Orb. Doesn't feel great. But if it gives us some more crit chance down the road, I guess it's worth it. Maybe? This will let us upgrade our our yin-yang mirror to max, though, if I can get to it and, before dying. We'll see if that's a big if, it feels. I miss the Heavenly Thunder because it looked cooler, honestly. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say about Unordinary here? I know I've only touched on it very superficially. It's something that I'd recommend trying. It's not for everyone. If there was a webtoon that really, like, for me, blew my mind in terms of would read again, would recommend to many people if you're into the sort of genre that it falls into, it's a manhwa called Bastard, which is a psychological thriller done by the same person who did Sweet Home, if you're familiar with that. I didn't care for Sweet Home nearly as much as I cared for Bastard, because Sweet Home, its ending wasn't satisfying to me personally, whereas Bastard had everything for me. So I am a big fan of psychological horror type things. All right, let's see what that looks like when it's maxed out. I'm a huge fan of psychological thrillers, Psychopaths, Death Note, Code Geass in some instances. Like, it is the genre that I gravitate towards, but it's also one that I need. Oh, and of course Monster. Who could forget Monster? What a legendary anime manga. Absolutely worth checking out. Kiwi and I are in the process of watching, but we kind of got busy and fell off of it a little bit. We need to go back and finish watching it. It's so good. The plot is it's just so good the whole time. The build up, the villain himself. It's just, oh man. Definitely, if you're gonna take any recommendation from the video, Monster's the one to check out. But anyway, so Bastard, the whole plot is effectively, it's this father and son combination, effectively. The father is a serial killer who likes to kill women, and the son is his, let's say, begrudging accomplice. And effectively, the story is about the son eventually, like, trying to get his dad brought to justice. But of course, he's also guilty of helping with all of this. Dash has 35% chance to summon a Thunder Orb. The volume of Thunder Orb is increased, the damage of Thunder Orb is increased, and periodically releases Lightning Chain. I guess we'll take this and then we'll get the Dash one next time, because that one looks really strong. It's just completely useless until we get something to scale with it. Alright. Let's see. I definitely need the HP first, so let's prioritize that. And then a technique manual. Dual Mark. Periodically mark one enemy on the battlefield. When hit by Divine Bull formation, deals additional damage and has a chance to restore health. Also increases movement speed when charging towards the enemy. When using the active skill, Earth-Shaking Roar causes enemies on screen to see slowed. I think we have to take this one. This sounds really good. And it's a way to heal with a build that's forcing us to run at things, so... Chensheng's head enlarges and does 5% damage reduction? Yeah, I think we need to take that. Oh my goodness, my head is enlarged. That's so weird. Why? Why does... Oh... I don't have the words to explain how I'm feeling right now. Why is there just a passive that makes your head larger and grants you damage reduction in conjunction? You're quite the big guy, so I'll refer to you as a senior. I'm here to bother you once more. I hope he starts talking to us eventually. It seems like he's capable of talk. What's wrong? Have you been... What wrong have you done to be trapped in this underwater place? Could someone come to rescue you? Be friends with us, Zhang Liu. I want to be friends with Tentacle Dragon. Alright, we'll try and generate some energy while we're dodging these things. Okay, well, that actually cost me more energy than it generated because I got hit, but it's fine. Okay, it's not fine. Yeah, I think this is the boss where things are going to go a little south. Well, we'll see what happens. For now, I just focus on dodging. Yeah, it's going to be very hard to generate energy, so I'm going to have to focus on dodging is all it means. This is going to be a slow boss fight. Oh no, we like have no damage against him. Oh, I bet that ring above him is the mark. Thankfully it knows to target the boss, I suppose. Oh my goodness. Compared to the previous builds, this feels so much weaker. Oh yeah, let's see what this does. Whoa, mirror beam. Wait, why are you following me? Alright. Not as cool as I thought it was, since the beam seems to track me rather than the enemy that needs to die from it, which is unideal. Unless it was like weirdly focusing on... Nope. Kiwi, I think this is where the run goes and dies, unfortunately. That or I learn to dodge. Maybe that's what I have to do. But the tentacles divert my meteors, so I can't actually do a reasonable amount of damage here. Ah, shoot. And because I can't generate energy, I can't depend on the shield, so I have to get good and dodge. I think this is... I do think this is where the run comes and ends. Oh, what? Okay, my controller really wanted me to go into that corner, apparently. Okay. I guess if I really focus on dodging, it's fine, but that's no fun. I don't get to turn my brain off for this boss like I did before. Oh, okay, yeah. Definitely feeling the hurt. Well, I guess while we're in for the long haul, I'll at least talk about Bastard a little bit more. But it's been a while since I read it, so this is going to be a very loose memory, and forgive me for that, but that's often how it is with me, isn't it? But effectively, the story, like I said, follows a serial killer and his son, who is the unwilling accomplice to his actions. And there is such a beautiful level of tension and build-up of, oh no, is this character going to die? Is this character going to live? What's happening next? This is one that I really don't want to spoil for you, Kiwi, because it is really one that it's one that I would genuinely recommend you read at some point. Especially if you like Monster, this should be up your alley. It has a very similar... Well, I just lost 2 shields in a row within short order. I think what I'll do is I'll try and generate enough energy to have a shield, and then I will... Oh, cool. I'm healing... Oh, wait. When did my HP get that low? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, and there it is. There's the run. Oh, well. Chen Zhang, do you really think you can defeat me? Every failure is a lesson in your growth. Alright. Well, that's disappointing, but I think what I'm going to do is in the next run, I'm going to go and do the Clone Blade and just put everything on heat maximum and see what happens. And I'll talk more about the manhwa I've been reading, but long story short, read Bastard. It's such a good webtoon. And Unordinary, I'd say it's worth checking out. I think when it pulls to its strengths, it's very interesting and very fun, and I really do like the characters in the world they've set up, and I'm very interested to see where it's going. I would say its second plot arc is probably its weakest point, but the payoff still feels pretty good. But with all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one with 30% more crit chance, apparently.